Hi, I'm Jamie Aderski with NJ.ORG. We're here at Occupy Wall Street today, and we all know what the overarching issue is here. But what's unclear is what pushes the individual to come here and protest, and that's what we hope to find out today. And also, we'd like to find out a little bit more about what these people in these communities have to offer for suggestions to help these problems that they feel they're coming up against. And here we have two people at Occupy Wall Street. And what's your name, sir?
Ben,
Ben, where are you from?
Jersey City.
Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from Lodi, New Jersey.
From New Jersey as well, and what's your name?
Patricia.
Patricia. So a little bit about what I want to get to know. We all know exactly what everyone is protesting in general, but what specifically brought the two of you down here to stop your lives and protest? How has this touched you?
I share some of the sentiment of the protesters, but I also feel like there's a lack of personal accountability. So I'm basically down here just to balance out the protest, if you will.
So you feel there's a lack of accountability by the government or by...
Citizens.
So by citizens. So you're protesting us.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you the same question. What exactly was it that brought you down here to protest? What makes you feel so strongly that you need to do this?
Well, me personally, I just came down here to support my friend, and he wants to come out here and play music for the protesters. I'm a musician as well, and I feel like it's a nice thing to do. You know, something nice goes a long way.
So you're a really good friend.
Yeah.
So you're kind of here for the atmosphere, is that?
I'm here to just sing the songs with him and, keep them upbeat and stuff. And they come by and they express their gratitude for us coming out here to sing. Most people, they don't take the time to come out here and see what's going on. And I'm glad that, they actually we appreciate them and they appreciate us. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
So you're really helping to motivate the people, because it's got to be rough staying here.
It's cold. It's really cold over here. So I give them credit.
Yeah.
So anything that anybody can do in New Jersey, musicians, artists, come out here and, just tell them, it's a long road.
We're here with two people that actually don't live in New York City, and we really want to get their perspective on the whole Occupy Wall Street movement as well. So can you tell me your name and where you're from?
My name is Marta. I'm from Poland.
From Poland. Okay.
Adrian from France.
From France. Okay. So I want to know what you think about this whole thing that's going on in New York City and really all over the world. What are your thoughts on it? Do you agree with it? Is there any part of it you agree with or disagree?
I think it's a good thing that people come together to protest peacefully against something that they think is unacceptable. And we've seen other movements in Europe, and I think this one is quite big in comparison to the ones we see in Europe. So I think good.
Okay. And so in your country, what do you think people are thinking of Americans right now in this protest?
You mean this protest?
Yes.
I think there's a lot of sympathy in general among people, and that things need to be changed. So I think there's quite a big support.
Okay, great. And I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you think about this whole movement, either across the nation or in New York specifically, that you've seen? Is there anything that you agree with, disagree with?
No, I think I agree that it's quite good that it's a peaceful movement. I think people have a right to be, to feel that they want to protest about something that they feel that they're angry about. I think in general I can understand why people would be angry. There are some movements that I guess I'm not sure I would agree with them being where they are. I think, for example, there's one movement, the European Central Bank, which from my understanding is actually trying to solve a lot of the problems we see in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's more probably on the side of, with the cause of the protesters, from what I've understood. But so I don't know if I agree with all of it. But,
Okay, that makes sense. And back in where you're from, what do you think people are thinking about Americans? What is their take on all of this?
Well, I think the protest movement seems to be more of a global event. So I'm not sure people have associated it that much with Americans, although I think they recognize that it started off here. I think in terms of what they think about Americans, there's I think there's just more headlines about the U.S. debt and the the U.S. economy that is in people's minds when they think about the U.S. now. So.
Hi, I'm Jamie Aderski here at Occupy Wall Street. And here we have someone that actually works on Wall Street, so I'd love to get his perspective on this whole thing. Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
I'd like to just say my name is John. I can't really give out where I work. I'm from New York City.
Okay, great. And so why specifically are you here?
Well, I think that the group that's here basically is in the moral right. I think there's a moral responsibility to be here. I think there's a lot of injustice, economic injustice in this country. And in the last 10 years, it has deepened to a point where there's a crisis, a national crisis, as well as an international crisis. And I think the people here basically are standing up on the side of what's morally correct.
And I know that you don't want to tell us where you work or anything like that, but would you consider yourself one of the 1%?
I'm not one of the 1%. There's a lot of people who work on Wall Street who are not in the 1%.
And I think that's something that a lot of people may not realize, that a lot of people working on Wall Street, they're not all the CEOs. They're hardworking people just like you and me.
Well, I can tell you as an employee on Wall Street that there's a surprising number of people that do support this occupation.
And so why have more of them not come out?
Well, I would ask the same question of the middle class. I think these numbers should be much larger, and I wonder why the middle class hasn't been responding. And I think to a certain extent people are afraid.
So you think people are afraid of just the repercussions of what people are going to think, or just...
And I think people are afraid of losing their jobs, and I also think that with all we're seeing on TV, they're also a little bit afraid that the police have been a little bit violent towards protesters, so that keeps people away.
And so do you think that the media plays a role in scare tactics, keeping people away from this type of...
Well, I wouldn't say that they're employing scare tactics, but I think that they're continually misrepresenting the demographics here. I see a lot of senior citizens here. I see hard hats. I see ex-military personnel here. You see people like me who are middle-class executives. They keep trying to make it out like this is a bunch of disenfranchised hippies. And I don't think that's the case. When you walk around, you see a lot of people, especially senior citizens, who are basically hanging by a string financially. It's heartbreaking, and I stand with them.
And I understand what you're saying, why you're here, but what specifically has brought you here? How has this problem touched your life specifically, rather than just on the whole for everyone, for you?
Well, my family has also suffered financial difficulties. I was unemployed for about 6 months, and now I did find work. But I know how difficult it is for my peers in my age group to find work. The jobs are just not out there, and the corporations are sitting on trillions of dollars of assets, and they don't want to hire. So, I think we need a change in the system. I think we need to bring back Glass-Steagall. We need to regulate the banks. We need to separate the investment houses from the banking industry. And I think we need to make it lucrative for people to hire people again.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. It's great to get your perspective.